Hi, and welcome to the Angels, Magic and Joy podcast. We're your hosts, Kirsty Jandra and Kate Rajba, here to sprinkle a little inspiration, guidance, and magic into your day. Join us as we explore the spiritual journeys of our guests and share stories that uplift and inspire. Make sure to subscribe so you never miss an episode, and let us know what you think. Now, let's dive in.
Hello everyone, welcome back, and Kate and I are thrilled to welcome a very special guest today to the Angels, Magic and Joy podcast, the beautiful soul that is Emily Teague. Welcome, Emily. Thank you for joining us. Oh, and Emily, you are a woman of many talents, and you've got such a beautiful multifaceted way of working. You've got so much that you're bringing through, so much beauty you're bringing through to the world. Um, and I just wanted to reference your website because I just love the way you describe yourself here as a gentle, heart-centered, but kick-ass, real, raw teacher with 15 plus years of experience in the field of female empowerment, womb work, and trauma therapies. Love it. So welcome, Emily. We're delighted to have you. So for those who perhaps aren't yet familiar with you and the beautiful work that you're doing, can you give us a little bit of a teaser, a bit of an intro, please, about all the magic you're bringing through?
Well, I've got lots of hats, so I tend to be all different people. I work with Matrix Reimprinting. I've been doing that for 15 years, one-to-one, and basically that is working on finding the root of a trauma with a client. So I go in, I'm a medium as well, so I work with spirit. So I'll go in, I'll use Matrix Reimprinting. We use a bit of EFT as well. We'll go in, we'll find the root of the problem, we'll find the age. I'm even often shown a picture of what happened, when it happened. And then we help that little child in you to heal it. So it's a really powerful way of healing. So I've been doing that for 15 years, one-to-one with clients, but now I've started to offer that in groups because I've realized that there's only one of me and I can't help everybody. And I want people to be able to afford it as well. So I offer that in groups. I put on workshops. I've got some oracle cards, which I have created my workshops around. I don't know if you can see them. So they're called Oracle cards for kick-arse 21st century goddesses. I know we're going to talk about that in a bit. I also work with fertility. I've been helping women to fall pregnant for about 10 years naturally. Women that have been told they will not have a baby, or women that have got endometriosis, cysts on their ovaries, things like that. So we're working physically with massage, also energetically with healing. We're also working with fascia and pulsing. We use rebozos to wrap the women, so it's a really beautiful treatment. Also working on the ancestral trauma and what might be in the lineage that might be preventing them from falling. So there's so many layers to that. I'm a homeschool mum. I've homeschooled my children for 10 years. Yeah, I started homeschooling before it was cool. I've homeschooled all three of my daughters. So
wow, big respect, especially for homeschooling and running your business and doing all those things. And Emily, before we came on air, you've mentioned a little bit about your journey, how you started. And so my question, we always like to ask, your path, where you came from, and where you're now. How did you step onto your pathway? And also I'll have another question, because you're going to mention that now, but you started as something. And then my question will be, what was it that you were looking for that guided you through all this? And did you find it?
yes, I think I did. I think as a child, I was super shy, very awkward. Everyone thought I was rude because I never spoke. And I just knew I was different. When I got into my early teenage years, I used to sneak off and go for walks. Sometimes I'd find myself in a church. We wasn't religious, but I just was searching for something. My mum was a medium. She sat in a circle with quite a famous medium called Tony Stockwell. So it was quite normal for us to have that around us, even though my sisters and my brother never really followed that. So I've always been into that sort of thing. And I think I was searching for connection. I think I was searching for God, consciousness, the universe, whatever you want to call it, is love. It's the same thing. But it took me a long time to find that, because I was a perfectionist. Like, I did a lot of traveling. I went off to, I feel like I picked up codes throughout my life in different countries that I visited. So I went off to the Greek islands, and an island called Eos, and I did back massages on the beach for 25 drachma up and down the beach. I had loads of money, spent that in the pubs of a night, had a great time. But I felt like that was part of my journey, definitely. Then I got offered a job on a cruise ship. So I worked as a massage therapist all around the Caribbean. I had a very, very good friend that was Venezuelan, who took me all around South America for about 6 or 8 weeks. We went to the Amazon jungle, we went to Bolivia, we drove to Brazil, we rescued a sloth. We done so many exciting things. I was very blessed. I met some very magical elders, and I think that was kind of activations for me along the way. Some of the waterfalls, some of the mountains, which I don't know if they were mountains. There's a story behind that. So yeah, there's lots of layers to my journey, I think. When I was on the cruise ships, when I was 19, my roommate, who I always say to her, you was a catalyst for me, she bought me the Louise Hay You Can Heal Your Life book. So I read that when I was 19. I already had a spiritual background. I was already a massage therapist. So once I started to work with massage with one-to-one clients on the ships that I didn't know, I realized that I was getting information. I could kind of pinpoint health issues. So that's where it kind of started. And then when I came off the cruise ships, once I had my children, I kind of left all that behind. I felt like I couldn't be everything. I'm a little bit ADHD. I can only do one thing at a time. So I could only focus on being a mum, and I wasn't very good at that at first. I had lots of issues with bonding. I was postnatal depression, very, very perfectionist. I compared myself to every other mum that I met. I thought I had to run 25 miles a week to stay a size 10. My house had to be tidy. My kids were all child models. So I just put so much pressure on myself to be fucking perfect, and it come crashing down. So I was already working with the universe by then, but we started to build our own house, and I project managed it. People don't believe me because I've done so many things. So I project managed the house, not knowing that I was 12 weeks pregnant until I'd carried like 500 breeze blocks one day. And I just had this thought, when the house is built, it's all going to come together. When the house is built, I'm going to feel happy. When this dream home of mine, which I still live in now, is built, I'm going to feel happy. And it was quite funny because my mum, when the house was built, my mum said to me, you know, Emily, you drew that house when you was a child. That would be your go-to drawing. And she said, you even draw the shape of the windows and where the garage was and where the trees were. So I kind of feel like this house is part of the master plan. And I do realise now that it's on a pretty important ley line for me in my life as well. So I built the house, and I just realised that I didn't feel happy. I felt even worse. And I went and had some therapy sessions with a lady that did kinesiology. And it completely changed my life. And she kind of helped me to follow my dreams, because I thought, I need to do this. I need to do this for other people. I'd already been a fitness instructor for quite a long time as well. So I was quite good at standing in front of a class and holding space like that. So I think that was part of the plan. And that's how it went, really. When my Violet, my youngest, was only about 6 months old, I went back to college. So I was in my 30s, and I went and learned spiritual counselling, spiritual life coaching, EFT, soul plan reading, matrix reimprinting, and I've been doing that ever since.
Wow.
I know.
Wow. And wow.
There's so much more I could say, but I'd be here forever. When I meet new people, they must think, she must be making all this up.
Oh, not at all. Honestly, absolutely. Kate just said it. Hats off. I'm absolutely so impressed. And what's really stood out to me, Emily, as you're talking, is that you're so grounded. You know, you've really kind of lived through the experience of being humanly divine, you know, and that's, you've integrated that so well from what you were talking about. I love it, the way you followed all the signs, and wow, hats off
It's one
to
of my
you.
cards.
Is it?
I'll tell you after.
Wow. That's a beautiful, beautiful link into the next question, actually, because you gave us a little glimpse before, and we were talking before about the title, Oracle cards for the kick-ass 21st century goddesses. So they look gorgeous. Please explain to us where the inspiration came from, and if you want to pull some and show some.
Oh, well, I found it quite difficult to actually get them created. It was almost like felt like it was a bit of a witch wound, to be honest. It was like part of me was afraid to start stepping out, being seen. I still get that all the time, even coming on podcasts. But I kept getting the word kick-arse. It was before COVID. I was actually on my trampoline bouncing, doing a bit of exercise, and I kept hearing kick-arse, kick-arse. And I thought, right, is this a tapping class? Is this a group I need to hold? I didn't know what it was. And then a few years later, then the cards started to come in. The front cover is actually the main vision that I got, and what I had in my mind was a woman in this gorgeous gown, because I felt like this was a representation of me and some of the things that have happened in my 40s. Just being able to hold your light when everything's freaking chaos around you. So that was the vision for that card. And then my next card that come was chuck it in the fuck it bucket. So that just came to me, and I thought, yeah, that's something I say. So what I just started writing on my notes all these different names, because I knew what I wanted, and they were all phrases that I've said for years with my clients, like when I'm teaching a group, or even with my daughter, or with my kids. You know, if my daughters say, oh, I don't know, I'm never going to meet a boyfriend, I say to them, delete that now. So that was one of my cards, delete. So they're basically cards that have come from my life, really, and my phrases. This one, so what I thought of when I was creating them was, I want to make a card that's for everyday normal women, that isn't too woo-woo, that hasn't got confusing words all about ascension that people are not going to understand. I wanted them to be for normal everyday women that are mums, that are, like, you know, in a rush, trying to get their shopping put away, that they'll just go, oh, do you know what, I'll pull a card, and they get it straight away just by looking at the picture. So I wanted it to be, that's for me what a 21st century kick-ass goddess is, someone that's a normal woman, but is, you know, standing in her power, speaks up for herself, has got strong boundaries, got a good tribe of women around her. So there where all my cards came from, really. This one is called Don't Go With Your Song Still In You, which is a song actually that I wrote when I was young, and it's all about not, you know, when, especially when I work with a womb, when we suppress our gifts, say for instance we might do a little bit of art or some poetry, or we sing, if we don't use those gifts and talents, then the womb gets sad. And that's how a lot of women have issues with the womb. So that's what that card's all about. Magical breadcrumbs, like I talked about before. For me, I feel like my whole life, I can look back, my brain works quite a crazy way, and my children do as well. We always say, like, can you see when, if that hadn't have happened, then that wouldn't have happened, and then that wouldn't have happened. So for me, I always say they're like magical breadcrumbs. They're like little signs that we've left it ourselves on a soul level or multi-dimensional level to find, but we have to be tuned in to find them. So that's what that card's about. This is one of my favorites. This one I added right at the last minute. It's called You Can't Sprinkle Sugar on Shit, which is a phrase that I use all the time when I'm working with groups as well, because it's basically about spiritual bypassing. So how, you know, we can smile for the selfies, we can write the gratitude journals, we can go on the vision board courses, but unless we're dealing with the shit underneath, it's just a waste of time. So it's about encouraging the women to go in, go deep. I've got another card called Digging for Gold, which is also about that. Like, the more messy we get, the more gold we find. So yeah, they're just layers and layers of just things that I've said with my children. Another one, I can't find the card now, it's called Nervous Sighted. So my kids used to say it when they were little, and I think it comes from My Little Pony. But the aim of the card is, if you pull that, it's like you've got something coming up and you're nervous and you're excited, and it's very hard to distinguish the difference between the feelings sometimes. So that's my cards, really. I wanted to create down-to-earth, kick-ass cards. And I also thought, you know what, one day I'm not going to be here. And I've got 3 daughters, and I always get emotional when I say this, but they might think, what would my mum say? So then they can pull a card and they can find out what their mum would say if they have a little question for me. So there was a couple of reasons for these cards, but I'm really proud of them.
I love that. Can't wait to get a hold of them. It's like totally my vibe. And you know, it's this whole thing of, as you say, it's like sometimes messages coming just so complicated and it's just so not here that how much you actually benefit from it, which is this one is like, can't wait to get a hold of those guys. Perfect.
On Amazon.
I feel like this is such a perfect Christmas gift as well. So I'm like, that goes on my list big time. Emily, if we could come back to our wombs, to the whole womb healing, the fertility. What's your experience, you know, supporting women? You've got tons, and I suppose we could have 10 episodes on just that. But just kind of, you know, briefly, can you tell us, you know, the value of it, the importance of it, and kind of maybe how it changed over the years? Would you observe maybe nowadays? Is there any change, let's say this year comparing to 5-10 years ago in that area? You know, give it all to us. Like, I could ask so many questions. I suppose I'll be chucking them at you in the meantime. But you know, your experience with that, you know, the value of it and the importance, and what you observe these days as well. What's happening in the world, Emily?
Well, to start with, it wasn't anything I ever intended to do because I'm super fertile. I've never had a miscarriage, so I kind of felt a bit like a fraud when I first started learning it, and I only learnt it by accident because the lady that is the founder of Fertility Massage, I gave her a reading. That's how we met. So it was so organic the way it all came into place, and she kept saying, you should learn this modality, and I was saying, no, I'm already busy, I don't want to do body work, I've done massage for years. And eventually I gave in and learned, just me and her. And my first case study fell pregnant on her second session. So I was sold. I thought, oh my gosh, I really like this. And it kind of went on from there, really. I've helped women that were told that they would never have children. I had a client that, a little pictures behind me, a little baby. She came to me and she hadn't really had a bleed most of her life. This particular woman, she was in her early 30s. So she couldn't have IVF or anything. And when she came to me, she was like a rabbit in the headlights. She was quite anxious and stressed. So I knew that I could change her life. Even if I didn't help her have a baby, there was more for me to do there. Because I believe it's not really about just birthing the babies. It's about women birthing their dreams, their ideas, their goals, their relationships, all of these kind of things. But this particular lady, we worked together for 9 months, and she had 7 or 8 periods in that time and went on to have 2 children. And actually, her little girl always calls her dollies Emily. And she said to her mum recently, Mum, why didn't you call me Emily? Because I love that name. So we always laugh about that. I helped a lady that was 48 as well. She had been trying for years and years and years, spent her whole life savings on IVF. And by the time she came to me, she was giving up, really. We had 2 sessions and she went on to have a little boy, little magical boy called Gabriel, which was really magical, I know. So I don't know. I mean, for me, I've kind of slowed down with offering the treatment for quite a while now. I've been doing massage for so long that I just felt like I needed to give my hands a break. But I felt, because my hands started to hurt for a while, and I thought, right, okay, I need to listen to my body. But I actually think there was a higher reason for it, because my hands don't hurt anymore. I think that my team were trying to say to me, you need to step back into the teaching role now. So for me, it's more about giving this modality to as many women as I can. What have I seen change? I mean, I've definitely seen miscarriages on the rise. I help a lot of women with miscarriages. I've got a lady that I met years ago that's a midwife, and she said to me, I wish I could just give your card to every woman that comes out of the hospital, because even just one treatment, the way they're nurtured with this treatment and the way they're held, and we also go through a meditation to help them to let go on a soul level, on a, you know, on all different levels, grief level. So it's, you know, it's pretty magical for all of that sort of thing as well. So I've definitely seen a rise in miscarriage. And I think also women are just more stressed than ever. Like it's not just about the physical womb. Although we are working with the womb, it's there's, you know, that it's a lot to do with. It's a lot to do with the energetics. It's a lot to do with the ancestral lineage. So we work on the mother line. So we're working on clearing the ancestral line physically in the body, but also emotionally. So it could be that mum or nan had some kind of abuse and it's passed down generations, or even Nan could have lost a baby, and without realizing it, there's some kind of fear because the cells are listening, and obviously we was in our grandmother's womb. So it's not just energetically passed down, it's physically passed down through the generations. So yeah, I think for me, what I really feel now is that, and I say this to every client that walks in the door, my job isn't really just about helping you fall pregnant. My job is about helping you get in the best shape I can, spiritually, physically, and emotionally. And then baby will come, because baby needs their mums, especially at the moment with the frequencies so high. These babies need mums that have got their shit together. That's the way I see it. So, you know, maybe that baby's just waiting for you to do another couple of meditations or another bit of trauma work, or to clear some more ancestral trauma, or to get rid of that narcissistic partner. You know, that baby's waiting, but it needs to hit the ground running. These babies, we all had to dredge through our parents' traumas. That was part of our master plan. It was all part of the plan. We don't need to blame our parents because we chose them all. But I feel like these babies now are waiting for their mums to do a bit more work. That's the way I see it, because they need to hit the ground running, because they are here for a massive purpose. Does that answer your question?
So beautiful, thank you. I'm close to tears listening to you. It's because it's so, we were talking, you know, before, it's such valuable, so needed work. I mean, I know so many beautiful souls who have been struggling, you know, and me myself, you know, I took me a long time for our daughter to come through, and I totally resonated when you said, you know, you need to get to a certain level so that you're ready, because they are so high frequency, and absolutely they've got a job to do, and it's our job to lay the foundations for them. I totally
Absolutely.
resonate with that.
And even like as women, you know, we're the hub. We need to, especially if we're having daughters, we need to have daughters that don't see their mum getting talked to like shit. That's just, you know, that's just a housewife that's not following her dreams and her goals and her passions. We need to do that ourselves so that we can pass that on.
Absolutely. Thank you, my lovely. So with that in mind, and with that beautiful little nudge from the universe to say, give your hands a rest, Emily. Tell us more about your training, please, and your teaching, and your plans for bringing this, as you know, to as many people as possible. It's so exciting.
I'm excited about this because when I was first asked to do this role, I said no, because I thought, oh, the imposter syndrome come in. I thought, I'm not good enough, I'm not technical enough, I don't know enough about the sciencey stuff, my brain doesn't retain anything that it's not interested in. But then I thought, Emily, you're bloody brilliant at it, stop being silly. In fact, I'd said no, and then I got a call, well, a voice note from one of my clients that I'd helped have 2 babies, and she messaged me. She's actually a solicitor, and she messaged me, said, I'm so fed up with being in the rat race, I want to get out, please teach me fertility massage. And I was like, I can't just teach you. I've got to be, you know, you've got to have accreditation. I've got to teach you the AMP. It's a lot, you know, it's not just me teaching you, you know, for 5 minutes. And then after I listened to her answer phone message, I thought, why did I say no to that? So I took it. I went back and said, are you sure? Have you given that away? Because I'd like to do it. So I am the only UK trainer for womb and fertility massage, which is the original womb and fertility massage, which was founded by my amazing friend Claire Spink. We have therapists in Ireland. Northern Ireland is beautiful Sarah. We've got a teacher that teaches in Norway and 2 in Australia. So these are all the teachers all over the world. So our job is to teach as many women as we can to do this treatment, because I just feel like if we can make this a household thing, like going to see an acupuncturist, or like going to see, I don't know, a yoga therapist, anything like that, where people, it's normal now, isn't it? Oh yeah, I'm going for an acupuncturist. So I'd like for women to think, okay, maybe I want to try to conceive. I'm going to go see a women fertility massage therapist, and there'd be so many of them that people are like, oh yeah, I know one of those. So that's my dream, to train as many women as I can all over the UK. I've got a course coming up in November, which has got space. Bringing a course over to Scotland next October, and I'm going to be popping up all over, really. I might take one down to Cornwall, maybe up to Liverpool in the future. So yeah, just want to teach as many women as I can. The course itself is phenomenal. It's a 4-day course. And you think you're coming to learn a massage skill, but you're really not. You're going to be amazing at it, but you're also going to go on a journey yourself, because I walk you through the 4 archetypes. So we go through the maiden, the mother, the sage, and the crone. So as a woman, we help to heal you on all of those levels. We work on your ancestry stuff, your mother line. We talk about the cycles of the seasons. It's so powerful. And also all of the therapists all support each other. It becomes like a real powerful sisterhood, because everyone's practicing on each other, so everyone's receiving the treatment. So after these 4 days, I mean, I just taught my first one in October, and the women that did it was like, oh my gosh, like I did not expect it to be this amazing. So I'm so excited to bring it out even more, to as many women as I can, really.
Thank you so much. Well, we'll put all of those details beneath, and you'll be teaching them all in person, obviously. So you'll be in demand.
Yeah, I'd like to, like, it's a 4-day course, so I'd like to be able to just dot myself around over the next, every couple of months, all over the place, really. It used to be that you had to be a massage therapist, but Claire managed to find a way of training you to do a basic. She's got an online basic massage course and the extra accreditation, so that any woman can learn. So any woman that feels the call, it could be that you're a hairdresser, could be that you're a solicitor, that you just feel like you want to. I mean, a lot of the women that train have had fertility problems, so they're like, they know it, or maybe they've lost babies, so they want to support women in that way. So women go into it for different reasons. And then I always feel like they're the ones that make the best therapists, because they've been there, they've experienced it. So
I love that. Would love to do that myself. I would love to experience that. And so interesting with the womb. Like, one of my recent discoveries is, it's known that we hold lots of trauma in the womb, but kind of that explanation as well, more on the energetic point of view. I maybe for you this is like obvious, but for me was kind of like, I knew it, but I kind of rediscovered was women often have that thing with men, that why does it take him so long to open his heart? And it's the energetic thing of men receive through their hearts and women receive through their wombs. So we hold lots of trauma in our wombs, and men hold lots of trauma in our hearts. So they need lots of patience when we're trying to get to the hearts, and we need lots of patience when we're trying to go through the wombs, through the yonis.
But we can activate them. We can, the womb is a portal. It's a portal, and it's the whole point of the course that I teach. It's about opening up that conception vessel. So it's not just about the baby. It could be that you might have a book that you need to birth, and if you're not birthing that book, your womb will be sad. I mean, many women that come to see me, the first thing I say to them is, what do you do for yourself? What are you good at? What's your creative talent? And when was you last doing it? Oh, I haven't done it for 6 years. Well, how long have you had this problem with your cyst? Oh, 6 years. Okay, that's it. Because it's quite often it's about not using your creativity, and it's about opening that vessel. So if we're blocked in the head, we can't hear that book that we're trying to birth. If we're blocked in the heart, we can't receive it, and then we need to birth it through the womb. So we have to open up that whole vessel, which is why it's such an amazing treatment for all women, actually, like not just women that are trying for a baby. It's far more than that. It's just such a nurturing, magical treatment.
And speaking of opening the vessels and ascending on our paths these days, and these interesting times we're in right now, in the moment that we've chosen very interestingly to incarnate. Emily, I'm curious, what's your view? What is happening with our world globally? Where are we at? Ascension, or however you want to call it. How do you feel? How did you feel, this year? Where are we moving? Where is it going towards? Like, how do you feel it? What are your, daily observations? What is it that you're tuning in? What are your thoughts on, where are we? Give us hope, hopefully, or doom and doom, whatever comes. I'm not going to tell you what to say.
Well, I always say, that is not on my timeline. So that's one of my, I should have had a card of that. I'm going to do that next time. That is not on my timeline, because, I talked about this today. I talked to someone else about this. I was talking about the 2 radio stations that we tune into. So we've got Radio Love FM or Radio Fear FM, and whatever we choose, it's almost like a timeline. I'm not saying we're going to spiritual bypass and pretend all this crap isn't happening, but you know, we can't feed it too much energy. We have to be aware. We have to speak up for ourselves. We have to have boundaries. We have to push back, but we also can't go into fear, because then it will affect our field, won't it? I was going to say something else, but I've forgotten it now. Yeah, I just feel like this card of mine here, where is it? It's what I believe. Like, it's called the most benevolent outcome, MBO. It's quite hard to see because of the light. Sorry. So I just feel whenever I do any work one-to-one, or if I hold a group or a workshop or a retreat day, I always get people to visualize New Earth, because I think we are so fucking powerful. And if you start looking into the heart math stuff and how scientifically it shows that when we come together and we pray or we meditate, we affect the frequency of the earth. So the more of us that are visualizing a world where we want our grandchildren to grow up, a world where the sky is clear, the water's clean, the schools are fantastic, the medical systems are, you know, pure love, the food is nourishing. The more we see that, I believe the more we can all create that. But the more we get distracted or tested with all this fear stuff, and I'm not saying it's not there, I know it is, and I'm the first to, you know, I've been waking people up for 15 years. I know it's there. But I feel like we've got to balance it out. We've got to know it's there, but we've also got to just keep focusing on the most benevolent outcome. We have to. That's the timeline that I'm looking at, and I refuse to think that it's going to go any other way. That's just me.
Well said. I'm with you on that one, my love. Definitely. It's quite simple, really, isn't it? To just, you know, keep focusing on what we want.
It's
and
not easy though, because we're freaking
it's really
human.
not. It's really not. And it's, as you say, it's having that awareness. You explained it so beautifully, but then actually deciding, no, we're not going to give that any more energy, thank you. We'll open our hearts and we'll focus on what we know we are capable of bringing in. And I just love that. So
yeah,
thank
I think
you.
Pam Gregory does a meditation every night.
Yes,
I just
she
think that's so fantastic. Like, we don't need to like listen to anything. You just have to tune in together and just or pray. You know, it's all the same thing. It's just love, isn't it?
It is. It is. And we'll put the link in there below, because I think that's I feel that's so powerful. It's so simple, isn't it? That's 7 o'clock UK time. Everybody around the world for 15 minutes, focusing on what we want to create, and that's it. No
that
tap.
you
No.
want your children to grow up in, and you know, it's really easy to get distracted. And I do feel like we've been tested. I do feel like everybody I know, including me, has had a really fucking tough year. Few years. I mean, my friend Siobhan, who introduced me to you, she actually said to me when I was in my 30s, we've been friends for a long time, she looked at my astrological chart and she said, oh my gosh, Emily, your 40s are going to be your hardest years. Oh my God, she was right. Like, not in a bad way, because I've also learned, I've changed and grown so much. But I just think, thank God I'd been putting in the work as well. Like, this goes back to the can't sprinkle sugar on shit card. Like, we've got to keep doing the work. We've got to feel it, and then we've got to clear it out. We've got to feel it, and we've got to clear it out. And I also think that we're just clearing stuff much quicker than we've ever done before. Like, we don't have to spend freaking weeks and years in therapy. We can, I mean, this is what happens in a womb massage even.
But back to your modality, it's just, it just sounds so beautifully effective and profound in that manner, you know, that it doesn't have to be years and years. So
we ain't got time for that shit. We've got stuff to do on this earth.
We're busy. Oh, so we come to our favourite question. Kate and I love to ask this to all of our beautiful guests, and please answer however you like. And I'm sure you've got so many, but could you give us one or maybe two of your most magical, angelic, or even joyous events that have been quite transformative for
And
you?
if I could add to that question as well, because
Yeah.
at the beginning when we started talking, you were talking about the elders and your journeys, and you've mentioned initiations. So maybe that, as well as your most memorable initiation as well, Emily? I'm just pulling it here, okay? I just want to get the most out of it.
Okay, initiations. I mean, things have happened, especially in the last few years, that have been quite traumatic for us as a family, and I think they've changed us all. The ripple effect. I mean, my daughters they're just phenomenal, and just seeing and witnessing them being resilient and seeing them like say, okay, it's all right, Mum, this happened for a reason, you know, I'm glad this happened to me because this is part of my path. They understand that. So I think that would be one of the things. I can't really talk much more about that, but like as far as magical things, I was thinking about that when I read the question. I thought there is millions. One of the things that is a really cool story, when my eldest is 24 now, but when she was 13, she wanted to be homeschooled. And I did not have a clue how to homeschool. I didn't even think it was legal. So this was 10 years or 11 years ago. So she'd been watching YouTubers and she was like, see, they do it in America. Everyone homeschools in America. So she was planting the seed and she was asking me. So she was very anxious, hypervigilant at school, absolutely a starseed. The trouble is when she was at school, she felt everyone else's feelings. I had to teach my children from quite a young age how to protect their energy field, how to clear their energy field, because they were such bright lights. All the children are. So when one year we went on holiday and was in Mexico, another code that we probably picked up, and I also bought my rebozos there, which I use in my classes for my Mexican shawls for my clients. And so my daughter was just so relaxed, and I said to my husband, look, this is the real Molly, this is her, look at her, she's relaxed. Like even her body, when she was having to go to school, her body was like rock hard, where she was so tense and having to perform and pretend, and she just didn't feel comfortable all day, and she was being sick at school. It was just horrific. So we went on holiday. She was so chilled out, and I said to my husband, look, this is the real Molly, like we're going to have to homeschool her. I'm not sending her back to school, Lloyd. And he was like, I agree with you, we won't send her back to school. So I prayed. I said, God, if I'm going to homeschool my daughter, I need some help because I don't have a clue what to do, where to start or anything. Then I just left it up to the universe, up to God, consciousness. So came home from holiday, and I swear my first client that I had booked in when I got home from holiday was a homeschool mum. It makes me cry. So she just took me under her wing because she had a son that was a little bit older than my daughter. She already knew the ropes. She helped me write the letters. She took me to all the groups, and I know that was one thing that I just think, wow. That was a prayer answered very quickly.
Wow. It's incredible. And at the same time, I feel like we would ask so many times, and like personally, I feel like how many I haven't seen, I haven't noticed, you know, how much help.
Yeah.
It's also the other quality to actually being open and trust, and in that trust to actually notice the help, because just as well you could have, you know, just chuck it out of the window and never notice it. So it's just I love it.
So
and
that's just one of my magical
here,
stories.
Emily, and really congratulations on that, because especially 10 years ago it wasn't that common as it is now, and kind of accessible, because I know some homeschooling parents, you know, there's much more support and help. So fair play to you. Like,
well,
really.
I did it 3 times. So by the time my youngest has just turned 16, she's just started college. So this is the first time I've been without a child at home ever, I think, for about 24 years. But by the time she homeschooled, it was amazing. There was clubs, there was trampolining classes, there was groups meeting in the park. It was just so much different. So it's definitely come a long way. And my daughters always say they'll homeschool their children. So I'm sure I'll be a homeschooling nan as well. One day. Not yet, though.
Emily, I would love to continue. And I hope maybe you're going to join us again, because I suppose there's so much more to dive in, especially, you know, I feel womb is an endless space. So I feel the same. Talking about it could be an endless space, but we are, you know, leading to the end. And Emily, if anyone would like to contact you or reach out, what's the best way? Are you more, you know, on Instagram, or are you more email girl? What's the best way people can reach out and find you and get a hold of you?
Instagram would be better because I'm not very organised with my emails. But if anyone's not on social media like that, you could come through my websites. I think you're going to put the links there. I've got two. One is more fertility based. That's more about my teaching, and the other one is 21st Century Kick-Arse Goddesses, which is about my one-to-one work, which I'm not offering as much at the moment. You did talk, Kirsty, about a course. I've got a course called Worth It, which is a 6-week course, and it's pretty life-changing. It's almost like a spiritual development, an awakening course. I teach you lots of skills. I teach you how to work with your energy, to clear your energy, to protect yourself. We do some matrix stuff, so we clear some programs and stories. So every week we do something different. I haven't got any dates for that yet, but if anyone wants to work with me, that's probably the best way in the future. So yeah.
Oh, thank you. So they can just reach out and keep in touch and get information about the dates.
Yes.
Oh, Kate and I have got so much respect for you. Honestly, it does feel like we've just tipped the iceberg, but you've brought so much to the episode today, and it's inspiring. It really is. So thank you so much
Thank you
for
for having
joining
me. I've
us.
had a lovely time.
Oh,
Thank you so much, Emily, and hopefully you're going to be back so we can chat more. And
yes.
thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ladies, so
Thank you,
much.
love. Take care. Bye.